It's stunning when you think about it. There are only 3 players in history to win 3 straight Stanley Cups with 2 different teams, and our guy is one of them. The pride of Oakville, Pat Maroon. Pat is our Cardinal Buick Sunday Conversation, which we did at a St. Louis institution, Bartolino's Restaurant. We begin with his thoughts on his longtime coach, John Cooper.
He's meant a lot. Obviously, him coaching me for 2 years in juniors developed me into, a man and making me, learn the game and learn the off-ice habits and on-ice habits to be a really good hockey player. And but he's been like a mentor my whole career. We followed each other. We kind of came up together in the American League. He was coaching in the American League, and then we kind of came up together in the NHL. So it's been like a full circle, and to be back with him these last 2 years has been truly awesome.
There's only 3 other U.S.-born players to win 3 Stanley Cups in a row. I mean, there's only 4 total. What do you think when you hear something like that?
I don't know. I just am very blessed to be part of such, good teams, the last 3 years with St. Louis and Tampa, and to be put in that category is pretty special for me because I worked so hard to get to the top, and when you get to the top, your ultimate goal is when you leave the game and retire is to win a Stanley Cup, because that's when you hit, the pinnacle of your career.
Last year, because of COVID, you didn't have your day with the Cup. I hear you have suggested you should get 2 days. What are you planning?
We should get 2 days. I agree. I guess I can say, because I'm sure people are going to want to know, but I am for sure taking it down to Oakville, and we are going to Oakville High School, I think. They're going to do a little pep rally, I think, for sure. No details confirmed yet there, but I am going to take it to all the bars and restaurants that I grew up going to in Oakville. So if you listen now, this is what we're doing. So
it's a lot of bars.
It's a Wednesday afternoon, though, so I know people are working. So I'm sure people will take the time to see the Stanley Cup.
So in basketball, we use the term gym rat, and you're the equivalent of a gym rat in hockey. I mean, you love the game. After you won it, 2 or 3 weeks afterwards, you came back to St. Louis and you played in a roller hockey tournament?
Yeah, I did. I sure did, yeah. My brother called me. He was coaching this pro team, and I played my whole life, Frank, and I haven't been on skates in 8 years, and I definitely felt out of place, I'll tell you that. Those kids are really good. Roller hockey has helped me throughout my whole career, develop me as a young age. That's all I did is go up to All-American, Sports Mall. My parents would give me $3, and I would sit there from 10 in the morning till 4 o'clock, 5 o'clock, and my parents would pick me up.
What about the role Mom and Dad have had in your success?
I think they had a huge part in my success. I think, them growing up and, put me into AAA hockey and, let me, kind of live out my dream and taking me to hockey practices, tournaments and 6 a.m. practices at the Merrimack Sharks.
Tell me about your friendship with Cam Janssen, and true or false, you guys boxed as kids against each other to improve your skills?
Yes.
That's not a good thing to box Cam, right?
It's not a good thing because he goes 100%. We're just there to kind of learn the boxing. He is really trying to hurt you, no. But yeah, Cam was kind of a mentor for me, back in the day when we used to train on power play with Rick Wilson, rest in peace to Rick. He was a heck of a guy. I looked up to Rick, and he was the first guy that kind of brought me in to train, and it was Cam, and kind of took me under his wing. And I was watching him play for the Devils and watching what he was doing, and he was kind of the biggest thing out of St. Louis. So at that time, and to watch him and watch how he became a pro and what he did every single day was kind of, I looked up to that, and we still have such a strong relationship. I can call Cam right now, and he would pick up the phone, and if I needed anything, he would be that guy.
You have gotten to know Tom Brady?
No.
Oh, okay.
But he was my neighbor this year, and I did see him walking his dogs a lot, and I did say hi to Tom Brady, and I panicked. It was right after they won the Super Bowl. He was with Giselle, and
what do you mean you panicked? You've just won 3 cups. You panicked?
I panicked. Well, he's if you didn't know, Frank, he's my favorite athlete of all time. And he was like a mentor to me growing up. And his little dog, Fluffy, came and was underneath the bush, hit my feet. We were walking to another teammate's house, and he said, "Hey, how are you guys doing?" I said, "Hey, Tom, congrats on, winning another one." He said, "Thanks." And we just kind of walked away. But that was my only moment I folded under pressure.
Let's say 2 or 3 years from now you retire. and you play your last game, and a little kid's up in the stands and he says, "Dad, who is that guy, Pat Maroon?" What would you want the dad to say about you and your career?
You know, I just want kids to just look up to me, and just knowing that, you know, Pat Maroon gave it everything he can and worked just as hard as the next guy beside him to get to where he is, because I was a 6th-round draft pick. I was probably, I don't know, 1%, not even a 0.5% chance of making to the NHL. So, yeah, I just want them to know that I worked hard and I didn't get anything handed to me. You know, everything I did, I earned.